it's Miss Kristen here at the Biggs Museum. Welcome to our virtual Biggs Kids. Today we are inside our gallery on the first floor looking at our Jack Lewis Hidden Gem of Delaware exhibition with our curator Ryan. So Ryan's going to give us an introduction to Jack Lewis and his work, and then I'm going to show you your activity for this week. Take it away, Ryan.
Hi everybody, so my name is Ryan Grover. I'm the museum's curator and I put on this big show, about 50 works done by a guy named Jack Lewis. Jack Lewis came to Delaware in like the 1930s during the Great Depression and started doing all sorts of pictures of really recognizable places all over the Delmarva Peninsula. So he would live in areas around Dover, south of Dover, towards the beaches, and then every morning he would wake up and decide that he would point his car in another direction and he would go there, he would drive there, and then he would just start making pictures of the things that he saw. And he did this for close to 70 years. He lived to be almost 100 years old, and he just passed away a few years ago. So the work that I wanted to show you today talks a little bit about the way that he actually made these drawings. If you get a little bit closer to this work, you'll see that it's a picture of a house in the background, surrounded by all these trees. But if you look really, really closely, you can see all these individual lines running through, kind of a grid of lines running all the way through the picture. Now the picture was painted over top of those lines, but those lines are actually a kind of technique. So what Jack Lewis did was that he used a screen with the same kind of lines in front of the image that he wanted to. He would go to this space, he saw this house, he would put his grid of lines up, he would look very carefully through those grids, and then he would line up all the angles of the house, the position of the trees with the lines, and he would reproduce it on his drawing. Having the grid, his artist grid, overlap with that picture helped him to plot out exactly where all of these things were supposed to be on the work. So if he had a grid on, if he had an intersection of two strings in his scene, he would be able to reproduce that grid pattern onto the painted work himself. And he seemed to have worked like that for probably close to 20 years.
And today, we're going to be showing you how to make it your own with your big old bag of Biggs art. So you can do this at home or you can pick it up here at the museum, and your big old bag of Biggs art will have a few different items in it. You will get a piece of white drawing paper. I have pre-drawn on it for you, and you will get a piece of transparency. I'm going to wiggle it so you can see it. And what you're going to do is, using your transparency, you are going to use a Sharpie with the help of your parent if you need it. You're going to use a Sharpie, and you are going to use a ruler, and you're going to make your own grid on this clear sheet. After that, once you finish drawing your grid on, you're going to take it outside, and you can go to the front of your house or anywhere in your neighborhood or a favorite place of yours. And just like our curator Ryan was talking about, you're going to take your clear grid, you're going to hold it up at your arm length. So you want to make sure your arm stays straight. And you're going to be able to break down what you're seeing into a grid pattern. You can then match that grid pattern on your piece of paper and start drawing what you see until you have your own drawing of your house or your neighborhood, and it's all lined up in that grid. If we get really close to this, you can see I still have some of that grid left in here that I haven't erased. And once it's all drawn, you start erasing the grid and you have a complete picture of your own house drawn the same way that Jack Lewis would make his artwork. So that's it for us here at the Biggs Museum for this first Saturday event for Biggs Kids. Feel free to come by and pick up your big old bag of Biggs art and do your own Jack Lewis inspired drawing of home. So thanks everyone, bye.